Hey up everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. We hope you're all well, you're looking after yourselves on this Monday. So tonight's video is going to be me round 20 tips for the NRL 2020 season, the last round of the competition before we get into the finals. So there's a couple of interesting matches that will be happening this weekend, and I'm going to start with the first one, which kicks off on Thursday night, Suncorp Stadium, Brisbane up against North Queensland, the Queensland Derby. And this one's got a lot riding on it because Brisbane must win to avoid the wooden spoon. They just have to win, just simple as that. They've been very poor all year. This has been their worst ever year since entering the competition in 1988. It's a Queensland derby. North Queensland haven't had a great season either, but they've got a chance to send Brisbane their first wooden spoon. I've been thinking a lot about this match, and I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to go for Brisbane to win this match 1-12. I think that they don't want that wooden spoon. Nobody wants the wooden spoon. As I said last week in one of my videos, getting the wooden spoon is like having a criminal record. You can't get rid of it. And I'm pretty sure all the Brisbane players don't want to be known as the first bunch of players that have played for Brisbane that have earned a wooden spoon, because that's going to stay with them for life. So I'm going to go for Brisbane. The next match kicks off on Friday, and it's between the Gold Coast and Newcastle, and this match is being played at the Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast are going for 5 wins in a row, and Newcastle, they had a big win over St George last week, and they're playing finals next week for the first time since 2013. And this is a really tough match to call because both sides have played well in certain patches this year. Gold Coast are on a bit of a roll at the moment, but I think for this game I'm going to go for Newcastle to win. I think they're going to win 1-12 over the Gold Coast. The next match on Friday, and this is the main game on the Friday, sees South Sydney up against Eastern Suburbs / the Sydney Roosters. And this match is being played at ANZ Stadium. As I've said in a couple of my other videos and my rivalry videos, this is, well, I consider it to be the biggest rivalry in the NRL. It's between two of the oldest clubs in the competition that are still going. And I think it's the biggest rivalry in rugby league. South Sydney, they've qualified for the finals, so have Eastern Suburbs. South have kind of hit a brick wall. They were on a bit of a roll there for a moment, and then they lost to Melbourne, and it's kind of gone a bit downhill since then. Eastern Suburbs, they've been a team this year that, even though they've lost a lot of troops on the field and they've had some injuries, they've got some good backup players, and I'm pretty sure Trent Robinson will be resting some of the stars for this match, but I think they're going to have a little bit too much for South on Friday night, so I'm going to go for Eastern Suburbs to win. Now, the first match on the Super Saturday sees Canterbury Bankstown up against minor premiers Penrith. Canterbury, they're coming second last at the moment. Now, depending on what happens in the Brisbane v North Queensland game, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it. If Brisbane win, then the pressure's on them to beat Penrith. I imagine that Penrith are going to be resting some of their players, but not all. But I think even if Penrith do rest some players, I think they're going to have a bit too much for Canterbury on Saturday night. I think Penrith's probably going to win by 13 plus on Saturday night. But it all depends on whether Brisbane win on Thursday night, but I'm going for Penrith to win this game. The next match on Super Saturday sees Cronulla Sutherland up against Canberra, and this match is being played at Cogra Oval. Now, Cronulla is going to be limping into the finals. They've lost a lot of their players now. Sean Johnson's out, Matt Moylan, Josh Dugan's got some problems. Royce Hunt's out for the year, I think. So it's going to be backs up against the wall for Cronulla this week and going into the finals. Canberra's still an outside chance of making the top 4, depends on the Parramatta and West Tigers match. But for this game, considering the players that Cronulla have out and how Canberra have been playing, I'm going to go for Canberra to win quite comfortably at Cogra Oval. The next match on the Super Saturday sees West Tigers up against Parramatta. This match has been played at the Western Sydney Stadium, and it's a home game for the West Tigers. This is Benji Marshall's final ever game for West Tigers, not unless the club decides to listen to the petition and reverse the decision to let him go. It's also Chris Lawrence's final game for the West Tigers. Parramatta's been playing quite ordinary over the last 5 to 6 weeks. I thought we were okay in patches against Brisbane, but the attack was still a bit clunky and disjointed. I think West are really going to come into this game and they're going to really want to try to win this for Benji Marshall and Chris Lawrence. But I'm going to go for Parramatta to win this game. I think Parramatta's got a lot to play for. If they lose this match, they're going to be out of the top 4 because I see Canterbury beating Cronulla. So I'm going to go for Parramatta to win and secure that top 4 position. Going into the Sunday, the first game on the Sunday is New Zealand up against Manly Warringah, and this match is being played at the Central Coast Stadium. New Zealand, their season's over, they can't make the finals, this is their final game of the year. Likewise for Manly. Manly's been playing shocking over the last, you can see, 2 months or so. I think they've only won 1 or 2 matches in the last 2 months. New Zealand, they had an outside chance of making the finals, but now that's over. But they've still been playing alright, New Zealand. And for this game, I'm going to go for New Zealand to win. I think they're probably going to win between 1 to 12 points over Manly Warringah. And the final game of the regular season sees St George up against Melbourne. This match has been played at Cogra Oval. Melbourne's guaranteed the top 2 spots. They can't finish any lower than second. St George has been another miserable year for them, and they'll be looking forward to 2021. For this game, even though I think Melbourne's probably going to be resting some players as well, I think this is going to be a bit of a massacre considering the way that St George have been playing recently. I'm going to go for Melbourne to win 19 plus, maybe even 30 plus. I think Melbourne's going to cap off the year in style and they're going to beat St George quite comfortably. So that's me tips for the NRL 2020 round 20 week. Now just before I go, I'd just like to give a couple of shout outs to some YouTubers out there, rugby league YouTubers. The first one is Nick from Australia. The next one is NRL Vid 090. And then National Sports Loaded, Warriors NRL Fanatics, Isaac Ritchie, Beyond the Try Line, Jai Stuff or NRL Jai Stuff, Evil Lemon, and the Bundy Chick 1982. Go subscribe to her. It was her birthday, I think today or yesterday, so happy birthday. But that's me tipping video for round 20. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click that like button. If you're enjoying the content that I'm making and the other videos and stuff I'm doing, click that subscribe button and click the notification bell. Anyways everyone, catch us all later. Enjoy the week and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, catch us all later. Ta-ra.